and because of the amount of rain that we do have, some plants can't thrive, and other plants seem to take over everywhere. So, and they've got cool things like rain barrels. They'll show you how to paint on the outside of them to make it more aesthetically pleasing to your yard. They have micro irrigation supplies. There's also a mobile plant clinic on site, plus soil testing kits. So this is so cool. They're going to have a lot of fruit trees, shade trees, a lot of ornamental trees. And this is really put on by the Marion County Master Gardeners. And if you have a plant or something that you are able to carry in, they will look, and with a question about it, they will look at it and they will answer your questions. They're so amazing.
All right, so the topic I have for the last part of this morning's show is about the European fascination with Americans, specifically these things we call states, right?
Okay.
So if you're living in Europe and you're a regular moviegoer and you think you know New York because you see New York in all the movies, well, you might know a little bit about this place called Manhattan or Brooklyn. That's pretty much usually what they show, right? New York State is gigantic, okay? That thing called New York City is very small compared to the rest of the state. But that is the thought people have about New York. So they were asking Americans to come up with a sentence, just one sentence, that describes their state.
Oh, my.
And so people from each state, and I have 27 of them here.
Oh, how cool is this?
27 of the best answers from Reddit. This is from an article written by Sarah Schmalbrook. And I thought this was a fun article to share with you right now. So you ready?
I'm ready.
So let's start with New York, since I brought it up.
Okay.
So this is written by a Redditor member named John, and he happens to live in the Chinatown area of New York.
Okay.
All right. And he said New York is the melting pot of America, except for the 99% of landmass that is not New York City. Well, that's true.
Gee,
that's true. New York itself is a gigantic state, as I mentioned. Okay.
Yeah.
Let's see. You are from Wisconsin originally. This is written by Mike in Wisconsin.
Okay.
Might be somebody you know. In fact,
be.
He identifies himself as a Green Bay Packers fan, and this is his one sentence description of the state of Wisconsin.
Okay.
Beer, brats, cheese, and the Green Bay Packers.
There you go.
Wow, that is almost what you always say. Okay.
That's right. This is great.
Wow.
I like this one. This is good.
All right, Michigan. The people in Michigan. How familiar are you with Michigan?
Not a whole lot.
No?
I know a few areas.
Living somewhere on your right hand. I guess because it looks like a hand, right? The state.
Yeah.
Okay, that's silly. Okay.
That is silly.
From the state of Washington, somebody said where more things are legal and everything is damp.
Oh, there you go. I agree with that. Sure.
Sounds like it. I've never lived there.
I was considering moving out there at one point and, check the area, and that's true. It's like rainy all the time. Dampness.
From California, San Francisco's Painted Ladies wrote this. It's perfect. California is perfect and amazing as long as you have enough money.
Oh, there you go.
Perfect and amazing.
Yeah, but it doesn't tell you anything about it. Anything is perfect and amazing if you have enough money.
I guess that's true, yeah.
It doesn't tell you anything about the state of California.
In Alaska, a guy named Paxson Wolber, he said, Alaska is like Arkansas, but with snow.
It doesn't tell me anything.
Doesn't tell you anything?
No, because I don't know what Arkansas is like.
All right, Maryland. A guy from Maryland. This is from a guy named Patrick Szymanski.
Okay.
Patrick is a crab meat pork rind chipper with Old Bay seasoning in Oriole Park in Baltimore.
Okay.
And he wrote, it is acceptable to put Old Bay seasoning on any and all food items.
In Maryland.
That's his description of Maryland.
Okay, that isn't telling
doesn't
me
mean
anything.
a thing for you.
No,
doesn't mean a thing for you.
Wisconsin hit it on the head.
All right. Yes, I think you're right. All right, in Arizona, Wisniewski, that's his name, Wisniewski. He wrote about Arizona, our main export is heat stroke.
Oh, my gosh.
Yeah.
Well, that makes sense. Arizona, that makes a lot of
Hey,
sense.
good morning. Texas is too much for one sentence. That's what somebody wrote in Texas. Texas. All right. Minnesota, welcome to our version of Canada.
Yeah. See, and then again, it still doesn't,
Okay.
is it a good descriptive?
Okay. Kansas.
Oh, you need to ring the bell, Helen, and then Tish will come up.
Kansas. It's flat and really windy.
Flat and now that makes sense to me.
Kansas is flat and really
Flat
windy.
and really windy.
All right. Oregon. Lots of forest, trees everywhere with a cold coastline most of the year. Now
Now that's a description, yeah.
that describes it.
Yeah, that describes it pretty well.
Let's see. Missouri, too far north to have mild winters, too far south to have mild summers. What do you think?
That's sort of okay.
I don't know, Missouri.
No, no.
Nevada, lots of deserts and a few mountains surrounding Las Vegas and a smaller Las Vegas called Reno, and prostitution is legal.
Okay, so
That's a very disconnected sentence.
Yeah.
First of all.
yeah, the terrain was good description, but instead of saying Las Vegas, they should have said about the terrain, and then then there's gambling and then prostitution.
All right. So the next.
Because maybe people don't know what Las Vegas is.
Oh, okay. Okay.
You know.
Utah has everything but the ocean in terms of recreation. Utah has everything but the ocean.
Oh, okay.
I've always
so that
lived.
makes
I've always lived near the ocean, so it's hard for me to imagine what it's like to not have the ocean nearby.
yeah,
You
exactly.
know? But I've met people like this guy I knew from Indiana. He had never been to the ocean, and when he finally saw it, he thought it was huge. And I said, "Well, yeah, it's the ocean."
Well, that must have been really neat seeing it through his eyes, though, for the first time.
You grew up near the ocean, right, Joe?
Yes, I did.
How far?
10 blocks. No.
10 blocks. Wow, that's really close.
Yeah, it was.
It was.
Long Island Sound, I guess you want to call it. Yeah.
Did you swim there?
Yep.
Yeah.
And then they closed the beach after a while.
Why?
Pollution.
Dirty?
Yeah. But then the main beach was open. It was further down. When I grew up, fish boats used to come in, and you could
Ah.
watch the fishermen bring the.
gosh.
So yeah, showing my age.
So what we have here, Joe, in case you missed what we're doing, there was
Florida, the sunburned state.
No,
I'm
don't go
sorry.
there yet, because that's my last thing. Don't go to Florida yet.
Oh, okay.
See, so these are they were asked. People in Europe were asking Americans to describe their state in one sentence.
What about North Carolina, the Tar Heel state?
Well, that okay, but that doesn't tell you anything about the state.
I know,
Because-
but that's their slogan, the Tar Heel state.
I know, but if you so a friend in England wants to know about North Carolina. What's he going to imagine? Tar on your heels?
Exactly.
In one sentence.
And once, what can you say? Well,
North Carolina.
Connecticut, I would say the Rolling Hills state. Rolling Hills.
Oh, that sounds good.
It is.
I would
Hill's
say about
pretty.
North Carolina.
The Bluegrass state.
I don't know. It's a beautiful state.
Well, they
though.
show it. They do say a lot of the Blue Ridge. You know, because the Blue Ridge
Yeah,
Parkway.
yeah.
So they do
Yeah.
it, the Blue Ridge state. Yeah.
So North Carolina wasn't on this list, but all right. So with Kentucky, they said horses, bourbon, and state parks.
Oh, there you go. That describes
2 out of 3 is not bad.
Oh, North Carolina is on here. Okay.
Oh.
Diversity in everything from geography to politics.
Geography.
Okay, that doesn't.
Well, I didn't hear
say
anything about music.
That doesn't tell me anything either.
No.
Yeah.
I blew up. I was up to 27 years old. I liked the bluegrass and all that.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
The music.
the music. I want to. Next time I go up, I think I'll make a trip just for the heck of it. Play tourist, quote unquote, and go to Asheville and
That'd
watch
be
the
fun.
Spoon Lady.
You know
If
what?
I can get her on the air, that'd be
Do
fantastic.
you know what you should do?
Tell me, please.
You should do an album, a musical album.
Of me just talking with my sound effects.
No. You should do an album of like you singing Sinatra-esque, but doing bluegrass music. Like, how would Sinatra sound if he sang
My way.
Jambalaya or something?
Oh, jambalaya.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. Well, that'd be smooth.
Yeah, that would be put a different perspective.
I'll have to do that just for the heck of it.
Yeah.
That would
Pick out-
you'd
pick
be
out
so
a-
good.
I thought it was my way in jambalaya style or whatever.
Oh, I see. Yeah. If you did my
His
way,
song
Way.
as
his style, but,
his style, but
you're doing a bluegrass song. Yeah.
so bluegrass song. Okay,
Yeah.
that's totally different. Oh my goodness.
All right. Let's see. What do they say about New Jersey?
No Jersey.
Hope you like traffic is what they wrote. Hope you like traffic.
Oh,
But see,
That's Jersey.
that's not describing
fair
it.
either.
If you go to one spot, but I've been in parts of New Jersey, it was like, holy moly, it's like another beautiful lawns, beautiful homes.
Oh, yeah.
Everybody thinks dirty New Jersey, or the big, what's New Jersey? Is that where they have that gigantic dump? Is that New Jersey?
Gigantic dump. I'm going to have to figure
don't know.
that. Find that
Well,
out.
it's called, the proper name is landfill, but, it's not landfill because there's so much garbage there, it becomes garbageville.
Oh,
Is that the one I'm thinking of? Is that New Jersey?
I don't know.
I don't know.
Ocala
New
has
Jersey.
a pretty big landfill.
No. You could put 200 of those in the. I mean, it looks as you're driving on the highway. You look at that mountain. No, it's not a mountain. It is
Oh, my
landfill.
Miami has one of them,
Wow.
too. All right, let's see. Kentucky. You did that
Kentucky
one.
we did. Next.
Illinois. Everyone will tell you they're from Chicago when they grew up in the suburbs.
Well, because that's the first thing you think about is Illinois, Chicago.
Now that doesn't say anything about the state.
That doesn't say anything about the state.
No.
No.
What's its Chicago? What's the name of that lake?
Michigan.
Right. So why don't they say anything about? They say, that's a lot of. That's the first time I ever seen a lake I couldn't see the other side of. And there's there's ships on this lake.
Yeah,
A ship,
yeah.
not a boat.
No,
A
there's
ship.
ships.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm going, what?
Yeah, you can't. see
They
the
could
other
put a
side.
Carnival cruise ship on there and it would go back and forth.
You cannot see across Lake Okeechobee, and that's much smaller than Lake Michigan.
I've never been down there.
Neither
to
have
that
I.
lake.
I was in a play. We talked about Okeechobee, but years ago.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Never-
New Mexico, the one sentence. There's much more to our state than Breaking Bad depicts. Like
So you're going to say Breaking Gas. I'm sorry.
Oh, that TV show is what they're referring to.
Breaking what?
Breaking Bad.
Breaking Bad?
The TV show, right? Breaking Bad show that people are liking, so that's probably what they're. But that doesn't describe the state, though.
No, that just describes a movie or whatever.
New Mexico.
All right, Iowa, land of corn, pork chops, and bacon.
Hey, but I got something from New Mexico.
There you
What
go.
do you got?
New Mexico, we're in the United States.
That's a good one. Here's one from Connecticut. Connecticut
Iowa.
is hard to spell, has high taxes, especially on gasoline, makes submarines and helicopters, and has pretty covered bridges and bad traffic.
Bad traffic's only towards the highways. Once you're off the highways, the traffic's beautiful.
I like pretty covered bridges.
Covered bridges, nice bridges. Sikorsky helicopters are made there.
Oh.
Yeah. I used to drive over a steel bridge. I think they replaced it finally.
Oh,
The motorcycles hated it because you're driving over steel bridge. It's very slippery.
All right, so I said all that to see if I can get from either of you the one sentence that sums up Florida.
I already told you mine. I'm sorry, I ruined it.
Tell me
The
again.
sunburned state.
Some, yeah. Robin, what would your sentence be for Florida?
Beaches, springs, and nightlife.
Oh, nightlife. Oh,
Nightlife.
She squeezed that last. You know, Larry, this is WOCA Ocala.
Thank you, sir.
Fox News Radio, I'm Lillian Wu.
My moral compass is strong.
The president's choice to head the CIA gets a grilling on Capitol Hill. Gina Haspel criticized for harsh interrogation tactics on terror suspects after 9/11, telling the Senate Intelligence Committee.
I would not allow CIA to undertake activity that I thought was immoral, even if it was technically legal.
3 Americans held prisoner by North Korea are on their way home with the Secretary of State.
President suggesting he's going to be up late tonight. Secretary Pompeo and his guests will be landing at Andrews Air Force Base at 2 a.m. in the morning. The president tweeted, "I will be there to greet them." Very exciting.